So we know that an anonymous piece of PLSQL code is a piece of code that is executed once, and because it's not stored by name in a database, it cannot be executed again from within the database. You have to basically type the code in again, copy and paste it from someone, so on and so forth. It can't be executed repeatedly and obviously not automatically. So, when it comes to named blocks, there are actually different types of named blocks, which we have covered to a certain extent, but essentially what we have are procedures, functions, triggers, and packages. What is a procedure? A procedure takes parameters in and passes back references. It doesn't have to, but it can. So the parameters are optional. The references are optional as well. A function is exactly the same as a procedure in terms of parameters and references, except that it also returns a single value. What that means is that it can be embedded into an expression. It becomes a mathematical expression in itself. A SQL statement can theoretically be wrapped inside brackets and becomes a mathematical expression. It is declarative. You declare the SQL statement, you execute it as a declared expression. Let's say I go back to my concert schema, and I've shown you this before, but let's say we select user from dual to find out who I'm logged in as. I'm logged in as concerts. Now I can also do this. This becomes an expression. Same thing. I can even do this. As long as I get the number of brackets the same, it won't get confused. It's an expression. It's an embedded expression. So I could say select user from, select user from, select user from, dual, boom, boom, boom. Guess what? Error. Because 1, 2, not enough brackets, or too many brackets on the end. As you can see, we have expression, bracketed, embedded within expression, embedded within expression. Actually, technically, this can also be this. We've seen this before, but it's very important to understand how SQL works, that it is essentially expressional based. It is declarative logic. You essentially write the SQL code, then you run it and you get a single result. Not necessarily a single result. You get a bunch of rows, which looks like multiple rows, but actually as far as the database and the SQL engine is concerned, you're getting a single result of data. One row, many rows is technically the same thing. It's still the result of an expression. What else do we have? We have something called a trigger. A trigger is an automated event that is executed automatically by certain types of database events. We will get into triggers in detail in a chapter all by itself because it's rather complicated. Triggers can do all sorts of interesting and wonderful things. In that, for instance, you can say, insert a row into one table, and you can put a trigger on that table that says, well, when I insert a row into that table, I want to go and do something else, which could involve inserting a row into another table, or could pop a message up on the screen, or do anything you like, really. Anything you like within the bounds and scope of the PLSQL and Oracle Database SQL language functionality. A package is just that. It packages other things. It packages procedures and functions into a single chunk of code where you can execute those packaged procedures and functions as package.function or package.procedure. It's a named package containing lots of other goodies that you can technically pin into memory, although I don't do that in Oracle lately anymore because it's not strictly necessary. So that's the types of named blocks. Procedures, functions, triggers, and packages. A procedure takes parameters in. A function does the same but can return a single value. A trigger is executed automatically by an internally occurring event in the database. And a package wraps procedures and functions into a nice, neat, and tidy group.